In this session, we are going to discuss a prose from Unit 6. The topic of the prose is A Spark Neglected Burns the House, written by Leo Tolstoy. Now we are going to discuss about author Leo Tolstoy. Leo Tolstoy was born in 1828. He was a Russian writer. He was considered to be one of the greatest writers of time. He was nominated for the Nobel Prize multiple times. He wrote short stories, children books, and books for young adults, usually upholding moral life lessons. His novels War and Peace and Anna Karenina have been read and loved by people all over the world. Let's see the story A Spark Neglected Burns a House. Yes, my dear children, we can't underestimate anything. If we neglect a spark, it burns a house. It can burn a village. It can do anything. Yes, have you ever heard of saying, and for an eye makes the whole world blind? Yes, if we keep punishing those who deem cruel, then we are no better than the bad guys ourselves. It is the whole. You can't solve violence with the violence. Yes, my dear children, in the story, all the problems started with a single egg. Yes, the story that narrates what happens to men who are unwilling to forgive and forget. Let's see the A Spark Neglected Burns a House characters. There are two families. First one is Ivan family and second one is his neighbor Limping Gabriel family. Let's see the Ivan family members. Ivan family members are Ivan, Ivan's wife, Ivan's three sons, and his daughter-in-law. And Limping Gabriel family members are Gabriel, his his mother, and his wife, and their grandchildren. There once lived in a village a peasant named Ivan. He had a wife and three sons. The eldest was married and the second about to marry, and the third was a big lad who could mind the horses by himself. Ivan took care of his old father who had been laying ill on top of the brick oven for 7 years. Here oven means a Russian oven or stove is a type of brick stove usually built in the middle of a log cottage. It was used both for cooking as well as heating up the room. In the severe Russian winters, it was quite common for people to sleep on top of the oven to keep warm. Ivan had all he needed: 3 horses and a colt, a cow with a calf, and 15 sheep. The women made all clothing for the family besides helping in the fields, and the men tilled the land. Tilled means plowed. They always had enough grain to last beyond the next harvest and sold enough oats to pay the taxes and meet their other needs. Even and his children might have lived on happily had it not been for a feud between him and his next door neighbor Limping Gabriel. Feud means a long and bitter dispute between two families or people. It all began about a trifle. Trifle means an unimportant matter. Ivan's daughter-in-law had a hen that began laying rather early in season, and she collected its eggs for Easter. Why the people collected eggs for Easter? As people worldwide celebrate the resurrection of Christ and the arrival of exciting spring season, Easter families worldwide use eggs to celebrate Easter in different ways, such as Easter egg hunt, decorating, giving eggs as gift, or taking part in games with eggs. One day the hen probably frightened by the children, flown across the fence into the neighbor's yard and laid its eggs there. The woman heard the cackling sound, but she was busy then. So after some time, she had gone to the Gabriel's yard to ask about the egg. So Ivan's daughter-in-law went to the neighbor's yard and asked about the egg. She asked in very polite manner, but Gabriel's mother replied in harsher tones. Soon, Ivan's daughter-in-law also getting angry. She was also getting angry. So she also replied in very harsher tone. Soon they were quarreling, and soon they were calling each other names and throwing accusations, and finally they snatched off each other's shawls and began fighting. Gabriel, returning from the fields, stopped to take his mother's side. Ivan and his son too joined in the scuffle. Ivan, being a strong fellow, scattered the whole lot of them and pulled a handful of hair out of the Gabriel's beard. People came to see what the matter was, and the fighters were separated with difficulty. The old man, from where he lay on the top of the oven, tried to persuade them to make peace, but they would not listen. He told them it is a foolish thing picking quarrels about such paltry matter. The whole thing began with an egg. It doesn't matter who took it, but the younger folk would not listen to him. At first, peasants only slandered one another. Slandered means spread malicious lies and rumors. But soon life became harder for them as they kept suing one another at the village assembly and before the justice of the peace until all the judges were tired of them. In the seventh year at a wedding, Ivan's son accused Gabriel for horse stealing. Gabriel was angry with Ivan's son for accusing him of being horse thief. Unable to control his emotion, he gave the man a hard blow that laid him up in a bed for a week. So Ivan went to the magistrate to lodge a complaint against Gabriel. The magistrate, knowing of the feud between the two families, did not give Gabriel a harsh sentence because Ivan's son had soon recovered. Also, the magistrate might not have felt that what Gabriel had done warranted a harsh punishment like imprisonment or exile to Siberia, as Ivan had hoped for. Dissatisfied, Ivan bribed the clerk and got Gabriel sentenced to receive 20 lashes with birch rod at the district court. When the sentence was read, Gabriel grew as pale as white, turned around and went out into the passage. Gabriel wished to say something more, but his lips quivered, and he returned towards the wall. Even the officials were frightened by his looks. The magistrate had already given him a hefty fine and had let him off, but Ivan, being dissatisfied with the decision, had bribed the clerk to change the Gabriel sentence to flogging. He went out into the passage and he said to himself that the lashes might sting and burn, but that something of Ivan's own may burn worse than that. But after that, when Ivan reached home, he remembered how Gabriel had listened to the sentence. He also pitied about his neighbors, and his father also felt very bad for that. What happened next? Let's see in the next session. Thank you.